My God, I hate drugs.
President Rodrigo Duterte defends the country's top lawyer.
Why should I fire him? He's good. He's also from Davao.
Despite controversies hounding the Solicitor General's family-owned security firm.
Bakit wala na ba tayong katuwiran magdegosyo? Ang nila is na, as long as you do not participate.
The Justice Department vows to review the government contracts involved.
Ang concern ng DOJ principally is whether yung mga procurement laws, rules, and regulations have been followed. Kasi public bidding yan eh.
But the Solgen camp insists there's no conflict of interest.
I will defend myself at the proper forum, not here.
Also, former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno appeals her ouster.
Obviously, it's not about me anymore. I'm happy to share this fight with so many others.
After the Supreme Court votes to remove her through quo warranto, the man of the hour, Solicitor General Jose Calida, breaks his silence live. And later, turn your vacation into a cinematic experience and be a movie star. That's for today's In Focus. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. President Rodrigo Duterte comes to the defense of Solicitor General Jose Calida. The country's top lawyer is in hot water due to government deals involving his family-owned security firm. The Solgen repeatedly insists that he did not violate any laws, and Malacanang stands by him. Also, after winning the case at the Supreme Court versus former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, is he ready to answer Sereno's appeal? Let's go straight to the source of the story, Solicitor General Jose Calida. Solgen, good morning.
Good morning, Pinky. Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for your time, sir. I know that media has been wanting to get an interview with you at the Senate even. Nakita ho kayo doon ng ilang members of the media.
Yes. But I prefer your program.
Thank you, sir. All right. Here's the thing, sir. To me, I think there could be two possible challenges or two fora that you could be facing with the discovery of Vigilant Investigative and Security Agency. Graft charges, a graft complaint has been filed against you before the Office of the Ombudsman, that's first, and of course the Court of Public Opinion.
Okay.
Okay, let's state the facts for the record. Records show that Vigilant, or the Vigilant Investigative and Security Agency Incorporation, was incorporated in October 2001, sir. Is this true?
That's correct.
In the general information sheet, there are 60,000 shares, common shares, at, I believe, 100 pesos each, worth 6 million
Well,
in 2001.
If my memory doesn't fail me, I think you're right.
And that you own 60%. Your wife and kids each own 10%.
Yes, it's a family corporation.
Sir, please tell us, I just rather hear from you, what happened the days before or right after you were appointed Solicitor General by President Rodrigo Duterte. What did you do, sir?
The first thing that I did was to resign from the Vigilant because I was slated to be appointed as Solicitor General. And I did. In fact, I wrote a letter to the company, and the Vigilant also submitted the documents to the Securities and Exchange Commission. So everything was above board. It was a legal resignation in compliance with the law. RA 6713, that is the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards. Under this law, the public official is given two choices. One, to resign within 30 days from the assumption of office. And the other option, the law uses the term and/or, signifying that there is a choice. You need not resign and divest. The option of divestment arises only when there is a conflict of interest. Not a speculative conflict of interest, but actual conflict of interest. Since there is none, the law says that I can choose to resign only,
And
which I did.
As we showed on screen, this is the letter of the resignation. So you put
Correct.
your wife as president and chairman, your son, Attorney Joseph Calida, as vice president, corporate secretary, and you have a daughter, Michelle Calida, who became treasurer. You were out, and you have another son,
Yes.
Attorney Mark, is it, sir?
Yes, Attorney
okay.
Mark Jorel Calida.
He also did not hold a position here in Vigilance. So when
Actually, may I just say that I did not assign them there. There was a board meeting, and they were elected as directors and officers of Vigilant.
Okay. So here's your defense, sir. When the conflict of interest arises is because of the Code of Conduct of Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees, RA 6713, Section 9, on divestment. So
Okay.
you were saying that the operative word was or,
Yes,
and you chose one.
I chose one, the resignation, because there is no conflict of interest. You know, the term conflict of interest is a legal term, actually. The definition of what is this, let's say in Section 7A of the RA 6713, if the transaction requires the approval of my office,
Right.
that is a conflict of interest. The Office of the Solicitor General does not approve contracts of security agencies, especially Vigilant. And Section 7B, Paragraph 1, it says, there is conflict of interest if the private enterprise or business is regulated, supervised, or licensed by the government office, like OSG. I do not regulate security agencies. I do not supervise security agencies. I do not give licenses to security agencies to operate. Ergo, there's no conflict of interest here. If I were the chief PNP, for example, and I have a security agency or a financial interest, that is clear conflict of interest.
Okay.
Because the PNP regulates, supervises, and issues licenses to operate.
And you're saying, obviously, that the OSG has nothing to do
Yes.
with any security agency, whether it's your company or another company. Another
That's
point
right.
being raised, sir, is the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, Section 3H. Here's the thing, sir. Directly or indirectly having financing or pecuniary interest in any business, contract, or transaction in connection with which he intervenes, yun po, or takes part in his official capacity or in which he is prohibited by the Constitution or by any law from having any interest, sir.
Well, as the law says, intervene. I did not intervene. And I have no material interest for the transaction that I should intervene. You know, Pinky, my job as a Solicitor General is a very hectic job. You know, there are thousands of cases that we handle at the Office of the Solicitor General. Most of them go through me, especially the appellate cases, Court of Appeals and Supreme Court. And if you recall, I have handled big cases since I assumed my position. The first case that I handled was to defend the government policy of allowing the burial of Marcos at the libingan ng mga bayani. There were around 5 separate groups who filed the petition. And I had to prepare for that. And that was my first win in the Supreme Court. And then after that, the case of Senator Leila de Lima. There were again about 4 groups of petitioners who filed. But thank God I won again. That was my second victory. And then there is this declaration of martial law in Marawi. I also handled that, and I won that. And then there was another petition filed by the former Solicitor General Hilbay as counsel for certain groups, questioning that there was no joint session of Congress.
Right.
Again, I won that case by the Supreme Court decided 15-0. Then there was again this 1-year extension of the martial law. Again, I won that case. And recently, the quo warranto case of Attorney Sereno.
Understandably, Soljan, you are busy with all the cases that you've had to defend government with. You are
Yes.
the lawyer of the Republic. You are not the lawyer of the President. You are the lawyer of the Republic.
Of the Republic. And since the President is the head of the Republic, naturally, I would defend his policies.
Let's go to the contracts that Vigilant bagged from the time you were appointed, Soljan, to today, sir. We have documents, our media reports also will tell us that there are about 10 contracts worth 150 million pesos. So, you have NEA, you have NAPSI, you have NEDA, you have NPDC, you have DOJ, and you have PAGCOR. And very recently, Rappler discovered 4 more, sir, 2 contracts with the House of Representatives and 2 more contracts with PAGCOR. Are these true, sir?
Well, yes, except I think with respect to NEDA, our contract already expired. So it's not an ongoing contract. But let me explain, Pinky, why Vigilant enters into this public bidding. When Vigilant was formed in 2001, its clients were private businesses. Unfortunately, only few private businesses can actually can have a budget that will satisfy the minimum wage of guards. And because of that, we would not go into a contract where the guards are not paid their legal minimum wage. So the Vigilant considered to join public bidding. Why? Because government agencies, government instrumentalities, they have an approved budget for the contract. And therefore, there is an assurance that the security guards will be given what is due to them. And what are these amount due to the guards? It's the salaries. If they work beyond 8 hours, the overtime pay, the night shift differential, overtime pay, and they should be given also other benefits required by
pay,
law.
probably, okay.
Which private companies cannot have no financial capability to pay.
So, and you're saying that, to make it short, mas maganda sa gobyerno kasi mas mabibigyan ng tamang sweldo yung mga
Tamang
security
sweldo
guard.
yung mga gwardiya. Kasi, one of our vision is to provide employment opportunities to those who don't have any means of living. So that is also part of our mission to help those who don't have employment. And thank God, Vigilant grew through the years.
So we're looking at about 14, 1 expired, 13 contracts. At 14 contracts, sir, this totaled about 261.39 million pesos. That's a huge amount for some people. I want to know where this money goes to, how much income, if possible, you derive from this. And one more question before we go on. Well, you'll answer after the break, sir, is if you bagged 14 contracts in the 2 years that you have become Solgen, did you have the same amount of contracts prior to you becoming Solicitor General? We'll continue our discussion after the break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Still to come, some lawmakers are calling for his resignation due to alleged conflict of interest, but President Rodrigo Duterte sees no reason to fire him. Solicitor General Jose Calida will still be with us. Please stay tuned.